Hi there, I'm AJ from the DigiDojo.com, Chief Instructor for Wadokai Holland and Kenshikai Kobudo Europe. In this video, I'll be taking you through my calf routine. And as you can see, I have a load of equipment here. This is just to show you, if you want to go all out, what kind of different materials you can use. But at the same time, I already have this one ready. I also do weapon training, so we have this stick, right, for training. But of course, you have something in your house like that. Maybe, you know, when you're in the kitchen, you have that, I don't know how it's called in English, but you know what I'm talking about. Then right here is a tennis ball. I assume you have one at home. Basically, if you have just this one, you can already start training and do what I do today. So hopefully this will be very interesting and beneficial for you. And with that being said, guys, let's get started. So this one is just for demonstration. I'll show that to you quickly. You can simply put your calf down there and then roll it to do it. That's it, guys. It's that simple. But having said that, there are loads of tricks, loads of things that you can do to make your training better and more worthwhile. So I'm going to put this one aside and I'm going to start off with this one and I'll explain to you why. Right, so this is my first foam roller, actually. I got it because I wasn't sure whether this training would be beneficial, but as you can see, I'm convinced of foam rolling and the benefits that it brings. But why am I starting off with this? Basically for you, right? But I originally started out with this one because this is a very soft one. In other words, if you put your leg on it and you start to do your calf work, then there won't be too much pressure on it. You can imagine if I'm going to use this one, right? Let's just say that 90% of the people probably won't want to practice with this one. You can tell that hurts a lot, right? So first we're going to use a soft one and then we're gradually going to move up in stages. I'll show you what these balls are for. I have another stick. It's all going to work out for this training. All right. Let me just go through the basics using this one and then we'll take the softest one. If you have a lot of those, then I recommend you to do the same. For now, I just go quickly through the instructions for this series. So what you want to do is place your leg on top of it, preferably in the center, because then you are able to rock forward and back. And always the position of your hands is important, so maybe you want to adjust it a little bit and then see how far you can go, right? So this is how you do the calf muscle. In this case, it's very wide. This one is 90 centimeters. So I can just do it like that, right? This is the basics of foam rolling. There's not much to it. However, as you can see, as you can guess, I'm going to introduce you to a lot of stuff today. So that's how you do the foam rolling with the calf. I'm going to move this a little bit more to the side, right? And then we're going to start off with this one. So if you're practicing along with me, then take whatever you have that is the softest one to sort of, let's say, do a warm-up for your calf, right? Because you don't want to get in trouble because it hurts too much or whatever. I remember the first time it looked like that, but it was even more hard. I was, sitting on it with my calf and, like 5 seconds in, I thought this is not for me. So I don't want you to experience that. That's why we're using this one, the soft one. If you're ready, then just rock back and forth. And you can see with my left leg, I can still find some support on the ground. Because this is also pretty taxing for the shoulder. Now I can do it this way, I can even do it this way. But still, I don't know how long I will be able to do a good workout. So I'm going to concern about my calf and not about trying to impress anyone or whatever. I'm talking about my quality training. Right, so I can tell I don't need this one anymore because I hardly feel anything. But for the convenience for this video, let's move on to the other leg. Just make sure you relax your leg as much as possible. Although you can experiment with doing this and doing that. It just has a different effect all around. But if you are not going to go all out, then just keep your leg relaxed. That is the, let's say, the best way. Right, so now that we have warmed up the calf, so to speak, I won't be needing that soft one anymore. So I'm going ahead and, no, let's save this one for a little bit later. I'm going ahead with this one. Right. This one is a little bit harder. So I want to, up it a notch. And let's do 2 legs at the same time now. Right, so still the same thing, foam rolling, there's not much to it. The most important thing for you to remember is that you need consistency. Right, if you do this once and then maybe next month, that's not going to cut it. It won't be much help. Okay, so this one already starts losing its effect. So I want to take it up a notch. But before I do that, I'm gonna grab this one. Now, like I said, if you like dough, in the kitchen, if you have that one, you can use that one in a similar manner. If you don't have that, still, you can grab a stick and just do this. It's not as comfortable as that it's rolling with you, but it's better than nothing. Alright, so those are other options that I have for you. We're gonna do this. 2 reasons. Number 1, I just did 2 sessions, pushing the ground away. So I'm giving these muscles some time to recover. Alright? So what you want to do, if you have this, or a stick or whatever, you can even do it with your knuckle, like that. I'm now going ahead to do this. Let's start just, straight at the back of the calf. And, depending on how much power how much pressure that you apply, obviously, the less comfortable it is, but at the same time, most probably, the more effective it is. Also, if you want to slow down, you can even feel better where your, let's call it, sweet spot is. Right? Let's do the other leg. For now, just really straight back. So at the end, just like that. Remember, the pressure being applied, that matters. Make sure you're not too much discomfort. Of course, in pain, you have to stop. Right? And slow down if necessary. Find that spot. And that exact spot, I have a couple of things for you in this video. Alright. Now I said deliberately, really at the back of the calf, because your leg, it's not like a square, it's round, and your muscle, you can target it from different angles. So that's what we're going to do next. So bring that leg forward again. Now instead of straight back, you're going to angle it. So this is, let's say, most extreme. Here's the bone, right? The bone, shin bone, that stops right there. So against the bone, or just, towards the bones, excuse me. And now I feel already this part is much more tight than what I just did. So this was almost like a walk in the park, and now I'm rotating it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep talking. Oh, yeah, there it is, there it is. Okay, I'm going to show you an exercise that'll address that part specifically. Right, go to the outside. Oh, this is very easy for me. See, this is different for everybody, right? This is easy. So I also know I don't have to stay there too long. And naturally, you can gradually move from one extreme or one end to the other end. Right, let's do the other one. Inside first. Yeah, same thing here. This is much more sensitive. Much more sensitive. And remember how you can make sure that you can follow along in this training without wanting to stop because it hurts too much. And note there's a difference between discomfort and pain, because you want to, maybe loosen the pressure a little bit. So remember, you can also go from one end gradually all the way to the other end. Just don't roll your bone, but keep it on the muscle. Oh guys, right there on the same spot on the inside and outside. So let's fix that. And we've now been moving around, so let's do some stationary work. These are actually they come in threes, at least where I purchased them. And sort of I'm happy that I can't find the black one at the moment. That one is really, really hard, pretty much like a golf ball. Yellow is the softest one, but I'm going to do one session only. So I'm going for the red one, which will not, my leg won't like it, but sort of it will like it. If you don't have these, just grab a tennis ball, and even you can just take something, a brick, right, or wood, that you can point on the edge, all right? So if you have a brick, of course it must be stable. You can just put your leg on the brick and make sure that the edge of the brick is sort of, pointing inside your leg, similar to the effect that this kind of foam roller has. And we will be meeting that one a little bit later in this training. So anyway, you have that ball and you just found your sweet spot. And I know it is there. So now this is almost like, very relaxing. You can just lay down and just let your leg loose and just let it drop on the ball. Now I know I have to find it, so I'm going to move around a little bit to find the spot where I just felt it was not convenient. So I'm going to rotate a bit. Let's see if this is going to work. It's supposed to work. It's a little bit high today. Okay, so I'm going to tweak my training. Maybe you found your spot. That's one of the reasons that I brought the bench. Because if my leg is elevated, it's just a little bit easier. Because now I have space right here for my leg. So let's try this again. Find the right spot. And now I feel I find the right spot, but angle wise I can't make it work, so I'm going to press it. A little bit like that. I have another idea, guys. You always have to be very mindful in your training. Try to come up with all kinds of ideas. Yeah, okay, that's it. Try to come up with ideas. Now, of course, you can just put your leg on a table, right? When you do this kind of stuff in your living room. You want to make sure it is yes, there it is. Okay, now I just have to do nothing. Just hold it. See, I was moving my leg around to make sure. I have to press it a little bit harder. Now the black ball would have been very beneficial because this is quite soft, right? So sometimes just move an inch or half an inch and look. Stretching the calf, contracting, stretching, contracting. And hold it. And hold it, press it in if you can, lean on it if necessary. All right. Okay, let's move on to the other leg. So yes, it's pretty time consuming, but also this is the most extreme thing that you can do on one muscle, right? I'm just giving you everything that I do by myself, to myself. So remember, yeah, right, that's it. Start finding the spot. Now this is already much faster, right? Because I had the idea of the bench. And it depends on the spot, right? Because I couldn't make this angle just on the floor. That's why I needed something elevated. And when you're in discomfort, obviously your body wants a way out. So you have to sort of get some power in your head, right? Don't move. Okay, now let's do this in movement. So remember, you don't have to do this for your whole calf, but just the spot where you feel it's needed the most. You can also make small movements if you like, but we're going to do that with the orange one there. All right. Right, the orange one, you really don't need it, seriously. I did it 1 year just with these two and the stick, and even if I would have had the small one, that would be fine for the first couple of months. But this one, as you can see, this one is completely flat, and here it has these spikes, you know, just like that, but these are a little bit less big. So what I want to do now is start using the flat part first, and then we're going to move on to the spikes. And we're going to target that same area that I just felt, right? So this will be just like one leg. I'm going to place it straight away on that spot. And I have to make sure that I can roll properly. See, I have to rotate my leg a bit. Some internal, yeah, that's it. Some internal rotation, and just make very small movements. See? Very small movements. So now we're going to move around. And when it starts to soften up a bit, I'll move a little bit this way for camera's sake. Now we're going to use the spikes. Same idea, position it first. In my case, some internal rotation there. And just make sure you place your hands somewhere, you know, maybe you want to do it this way, right? Also now I can get some weight off the muscle. And then gradually I can start doing this and, you know, pushing myself up from the ground, and in that way I can control the amount of pressure. Okay, let's move on to the other side. So remember, I'm starting flat first. I can do it this way, right? But you know, I can take some pressure there. Make sure it's on the right spot. Correct it if you like, if you need, if you like, if you will. This one is much more loosened up than the other one from the previous exercise. So if you're like me, you want to find out why. Was it because my positioning was better when I used the red ball? Or was it because simply the right calf had a more sort of serious issue? Okay, this starts to go sort of flat, right? In the beginning I feel a higher sensation, now it's all like the same, so I know I need to up it one level. And that means moving on to the spikes. And remember, we are now only focusing on the point that we found through our sort of own studies, through our own training, by feeling, basically allowing your body to give you feedback. And you can also stop here for a second. You know, you can even do this. And that's if, in case you're lacking materials, because it's sort of what we did with the ball, right? Right, so moving on to finalize this training for today. Well, I wanted to say with my friend, but I really don't like him. But I'm going to use him anyway for this very simple reason that it's very effective. So now we are just going back to target the calf in its entirety. So we're going to do it completely. So remember the starting positions, pretty much in the center of your calf. You can start here, but then you'll have to adjust with your arms. And in the end, it's down. It's up to you, right? It's up to you. Right. So remember, this got some rest as well. So now we can give it a go. open my legs a bit. Doing this one relatively slow. Going back to center with my legs. Inward slightly, that's a little bit difficult. There it is, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna hang around here. Make sure not to do this, make sure to push the ground, it's much better for your shoulder. Okay. Now, if you want, this is an extremely simple exercise, just a stretch for the calf, like this. Okay, so one leg flat, foot flat, place it ahead of you a bit in an angle, and just make sure that whatever position you take, it's always focusing on allowing you to first of all do the exercise properly, and second of all to get a higher quality. For example, if I would do this, then maybe there's more weight here, but actually I can feel it there, right, instead of here. So if I do this, then I can feel a good stretch. So you always want to listen to your body. Same goes for your hands. If I place them a little bit ahead of me, that allows me to get a better stretch too. So switching legs, remember, both flat, one ahead of you in an angle. Find the right spot, make sure you have a good balance. And maybe your position now is different for the other leg. But always listen to your body. Maybe rotate a bit this way, rotate a bit that way. Place your knee in a different position. Everything matters if you want to get some quality. Because remember, it's the same 30 seconds or it's the same minute that we're hanging out here. And if the position of your knee, determines whether it will have a good effect or not, then obviously you want to place your legs in the right position. So there's no fixed position like you have to put it here or there, because everybody's body is a little bit different. Maybe you're lacking flexibility in one area, which means your knee has to go there, right? Okay. To finalize, if you really want to focus on the stretching of your calf too, I can feel my calf has really worked now, guys. You want to get an elevated position, although not too high. If I do this downstairs, at my kitchen table, it doesn't work well because my leg has to go this high, right? And I'm not able to put a lot of pressure on it. So I feel that this is a very nice height, because now you can just let your weight sink. I can place my weight at the heel. I can shift it a bit forward. I can also grab the bench and pull myself forward. See? So these are all helping aids to get a higher quality from the exact same exercise. Now while I'm at it, let me do the other leg as well. Remember, position first, then find your right spot, adjust it if necessary, and you can pull, and in case I'm pushing with my chest against my leg to get a really solid base there, feet flat on the ground or foot flat on the ground, and that's when I'm starting to apply pressure. So I'm making sure that everything is in, now I'm feeling it very well. I'm making sure that everything is in place before I start to apply the pressure. Right. And of course, when it comes to stretching, you can take 10 minutes or however long you like, to get things done. So guys, this concludes this video on, targeting your calf muscle, making it more loose. Now maybe afterwards it's like, oh, I can feel some things. It's normal, especially if you've been using, one like that. But like I showed you, right? There are many different ways of using it. If you don't have certain materials, you can even use your knuckle to press it. And if you don't have enough strength, just support your hand and lean on it with your weight. Those are the most important things that I can tell you. Well, probably more, but this is what I covered in this video. And there's a lot of stuff here that took me many years to discover, to find out. And I'm giving it to you. I hope it is very, very beneficial for you. So this is it, guys. This concludes the end of this training. I truly hope this brought tremendous value for you, that you now know how to can basically help yourself. That's what this is all about, right? Of course, if you have something serious, you need to see a professional. But if it's not serious yet, believe me when I tell you that stuff that I showed you today, it will help you. It will help you a lot, right? But I know what you're thinking, probably. Because what if, right, check the time. I didn't check the time. Maybe it's 20, 30, 40 minutes. I don't know. But the problem is we just took care of one body part. Now imagine, just do the math, right? If you want to target calf, hamstring, quad, shin, pecs, back, lat. If you want to take all of these muscles into account, of course you cannot do the training that we did today. The training today is when you have one specific problem. However, if you want to work on that maintenance, being consistent in your training, right? Pretty much daily, 1, 2, 3, bang. Every day do your training. Of course, we need to get a full-time job doing foam rolling, and that is not possible. That's why I went ahead to create the Foam Roller Exclusive. This is a training where you'll be taught a short version and a long version that you can start training right now. Because I am practicing with you. We're using a timer. And we're implementing all the hacks that I taught you in this video and more, because there are more, and we're going to do that in a systematic manner. So that means, like, if we're going to, for example, we're going to work on the calf for 1 minute, then inside that 1 minute, we're going to apply these hacks that will up the quality of that same minute. So not just rolling back and forward, we're going to apply these hacks that you need in order to get that done fast. That's what the short version is all about. But even in the short version, boom, it's a full body workout. Then there's also the longer version where we take some more time. Anyway, you'll see. If you click the link down below, you'll go to the page where it's all laid out for you. So, check it out if you're even one bit interested. Because you see the exercises that we did today. Very good, very valuable, but also very time consuming. So my advice, click the link down below, get the program, and use these videos as additionals. So if you do your whole body workout and you find like, oh, right there's this spot, how can I fix it? Then zoom in and only target that muscle. But if you don't have that kind of issue, then you can go ahead and do the general one. And with that being said, guys, even inside the general one, we are attending to these specific spots that I also taught you today in a systemized, structured manner. So you can memorize it very fast, it's economic, and also the sequence is very flowing. We're not going from here to there, it is all one great flow, saving us time, easier to remember, and thereby it's more effective. Anyway, click the link down below, guys, if you're one bit interested, and if you are not getting inside the program, then at least thanks for watching. I hope you got a ton of value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.